Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes Report for the day of 8th of August, yesterday. And so the past 24 hours, quite a number of frontline changes, mainly is over at the KURSK offensive. And we have updates across the western front lines, the eastern front lines, multiple locations, including Kositsa, Lebedevka, and then we have Kozache Luknia, Sudja, and then over on the Ukrainian inside the SMO regions, the Special Military Operations regions, which is so-called Ukraine, we have frontline changes over at Lukashevka, Sonitsky, Kozachok, Pivnishny, and Zaleny. So in equal measures, but I think the Ukrainian captures or potential captures are actually more significant. So we go into the KURSK offensive. At the KURSK front, we have, you can see the tentacles are starting to stretch out. So from my understanding, you have to take these captures with a pinch of salt. It's very similar to the situation in the Balaklia offensive, except that this is not the Kharkiv front of the Balaklia offensive. This is Russia. Is Russian territory itself. So, despite all these tentacles, this is not like the sparsely defended Kharkiv front during the Balaklia offensive. This is inside Russia, literally. So all these captures, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. It simply means the Ukrainians has been detected there. There is fighting over certain places. There are certain announcement that certain places are captured. But from the information coming from journalists, the journalist seems to be able to drive all the way through to Zudja, despite that there is mention of capture of Zudja, like pretty easily, and there is actually no sighting of Ukrainian troops during their journey there. So all this is now very vague. It's pretty much in the fog of war. The Ukrainians are launching small groups of fighters through armored vehicles and whatnot. They're basically blitzing everywhere and creating a lot of confusion in the information space to create a lot of problems for the Russian commands to decide where to send their troops to defend, while the Ukrainian forces in the rear position start to reinforce the lines that they have captured. So this is what is currently happening. So all this yellow thing, do take it with some pinch of salt whether it's actually fully captured or not. So this just simply marks the maximum extent of the Ukrainian advances. So over on the western fronts, the Ukrainian forces have attacked Snagorsk. They went back for Korenevo. They have attacked Olgovska, Kremliano, and Krylekoye. So this means that the Ukrainian forces have basically extended pretty far away. However, there is also latest reports saying that the Russians have counterattacked in this Krenovo region and basically clear up the Ukrainian forces, because ultimately the forces attacking here does operates in the hit and run situation. So they attack, it doesn't work, they fall back to the previous line where they have a firmer defense line. So like I said, take it with a pinch of salt. The similar situation over at Snagorsk as well. So anyway, this is the frontline change around here. So over under this entire eastern side, we talk about the furthest extent. There is fighting reported over Anastasievka. So the Ukrainian forces basically ran down the highway or the road all the way to this point. They basically blitzing down the road, similar to what the Wagner forces did when they went on their rebellion against Moscow. So this happened. This is the furthest extent. On the other road, this is the main highway leading all the way to Kursk. This goes all the way to Kursk. This actually, the fighting went as far as Bolsho Sodatske or Sodatskoye. The Ukrainian forces actually run down this road. Along the way, they allegedly captured Krutlik. They engaged in battle over in Martinovka. So that's the situation. Ukrainian forces geolocated in this location just off Kositsa. So which means that there is certain areas here where the Ukrainians may have captured. All these are considered largely gray zones. To be honest, even though we marked it as under Ukrainian control, there is no flag being mentioned because there's no report about them being captured. There is potential capture of Malaya Loknia. I think there is a capture. I will update this later. and of course this is the push upward northward. So when I zoom out, so it looks something like this, with the Ukrainian forces heading in these two directions, potential captures around here. And then we go to the main part over in this area here. This is where the main fighting was being reported with Ukrainian forces previously. In the earlier part of the day, they are fighting over at Kinyazi, I think. I don't know how to pronounce this. Kinyazi, first Kinyazi, second Kinyazi, Kazania Loknia, and Bodanovka. So along the way, the Kazania Loknia was captured by the Ukrainian forces. The battle in Zhuzhia continues, and the capture seems to be expanding to the point where Bodarevka and Myrny was allegedly captured, with fighting reported over at Matanovka, and Ukrainian forces continue to bypass Russian lines and head down the highway. So all these regions very, very complicated. But like I mentioned, the journalist by the Alexander Kortz, one of the major Russian Telegram channel, the Kortz News, basically drive all the way down to Sudja, and then basically didn't see Ukrainian forces. So a lot of very weird situation, because the Ukrainians, despite they come in big force, they didn't come in the point in the Soviet style, though. They basically is huge detachments basically driving everywhere, and yeah, which of course caused severe defensive problem, because ultimately we are talking about a huge front line and the Russians do not know where to hold the line. So but there is a lot of news that the Russians are already organizing. It seems like the main force is now starting to operate, which is pretty much where the timeline is around. I talk about this usually around 3 to 5 days. So we are starting to see the Russians starting to push back, especially we are talking about Korenovo and Snagorsk, and I think the lines here is starting to really start to choke up. There is more information coming out from today, but it's a Singapore's National Day, so the lion, you can see the lion. So it's Singapore's National Day. I will be going out with my family. So I'm doing up this frontline changes report first. And then when I'm back, I'll probably do a update for the KURSK offensive. And then we'll talk more about doing the SIP rep. So anyway, we will, so stay tuned. Of course, you can also watch other channels. Then, yeah. But then you can verify the information later with DPA. So anyway, this is the frontline change over at this KURSK front. The Russian forces reactivated the battles around Sonitsky Kozachok, and according to the Russian sources, they say that they have recaptured Sonitsky Kozachok, and they have also captured Lukashevka over in the Sumy region. So these are probably local commanders trying to take charge. I feel trying to take charge. They're trying to create some diversion to help out in the situation over at the KURSK. I think they are just doing whatever they could in the limited capacity. I don't feel like this is a major offensive, because the force defending this area is the force defending Belgorod, and I think the forces here, the commander here, maybe decided to do something to try to elevate and create some threats to the Ukrainian side. But who knows? Then maybe this might develop into one major offensive and totally complicate the Ukrainian side, and maybe we will see the same thing happening inside this area here that the Ukrainians are doing to the Russians. Who knows? But unlikely, because this area here is heavily defended. So we shall see how this goes. The next frontline change after these two locations is over in Pivnishny. So over at the ADFK front, New York front, Pivnishny. Yeah. So we have the previous incursion where the Ukrainian forces landed forces here. The latest geolocation suggests that the Russians have retaken this area here, in the probably a counter attack. There is still some areas that is not firmly established to be under Russian control, but the geolocation suggests that the Russians have retaken certain part of this Pivnishny. And there's one last frontline change is over at Zeleny. So over at the ADFK front, according to the Russian mapping, the Russian forces have captured Zeleny. But this is based on Russian mapping, not corroborated on the Ukrainian side. Russian forces take the entire settlement and starting to do clearing operation. And the battle has now progressed to Novozeleny and Komishivka, with potential pincer or encirclement over at Mezove. But anyway, these are the frontline changes report. A very complicated situation over at the KURSK front. I will come back later after the National Day celebration thingy with my family. Then I will see how to explain to you guys what the hell is happening. Thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the like and share. I'm not saying this for fun. Do it. And I'll see you guys in the next update.